So in this video, I'm going to be talking to you about my honest reaction when I saw a $10 million business for the first time. And this is a $10 million financial statement which belonged to a $10 million business. And actually the business was much bigger. There were several companies owned by one group, and this was one of the companies, and they had many more, but this was one of the many companies that they owned. And this company itself was a $10 million company. It was a home care company, and it had 4 locations. So here is the reaction. So I was, I had some business meetings with some board members, probably some banks. I came back home and I opened up my laptop and I was adding a lot of people at that time on LinkedIn. So I started to add a bunch of people, and I got a request from somebody. He was one of Dan Peña's mentee. And he said that I see you're in Dubai. And I said, yes. And he said, I'm looking at deals in Dubai. In fact, I have a deal in Dubai. Would you be interested in working on a $10 million deal? And I said, 10 what? And he says, $10 million deal. And I said, let's get on the call. And we had a little bit of a conversation. He sent me, and then we got introduced to each other. He asked me, what is the lending environment in Dubai? And I said, they are doing non-recourse loans. I met a couple of bankers. He said, so you have contacts within the banks? I said, yes, I've met almost all of the banks. And he said, well, so you should be able to go and talk to them about this deal. I said, yeah, probably. And then he said that you need to tell me right now what your answer is. And I said, okay, I'll do it. So he sent me the financial statements, and I kind of almost didn't want to open it because I didn't know what reaction I would get. And then finally I opened it and I saw the numbers. It said $40 million dirham, which translates itself into $10 million. And I saw that the cash flow was 30%, profit was 30%, and it had 4 locations. There was a bunch of detail, and I started to go through it. And something started to happen in my whole body. My legs start to shake out of excitement, and many visions and many pictures start to kind of like pop like a popcorn. The visions that were opening up, because I could see how I would fit my dreams on this cash flow, the things that I would like to buy, how much salary can I draw, what car can I get, how can I finance that car, what would be the monthly payment, here's how I'll structure it. Because when you see a financial statement, especially when the numbers are put in an Excel sheet, you can see every year how much money you're going to make, how much money the business is making, what would be the bank loan, how much cash flow you're going to have, and your mind starts running wild. Because you may have seen a penthouse in Burj Khalifa, which I did, and how much it costs monthly to maintain it. You may have seen a supercar that you wanted to buy, and what it takes, what's the monthly cost of maintaining it. And all of the things that were once outside of your access start to feel like they're happening. And I realized that a lot of the insecurities around money are because we can't see money. It's not there in your visual periphery. People don't carry gobs of cash in their pocket or briefcases in most businesses. Most people keep money in their bank account, and you can't see inside of somebody's bank account. So it can be very easy to think that there is scarcity of money because it's nowhere to be seen. And when you start to analyze financial statements, you start to look at bank statements, you start to see that people are making a lot of money. There is a lot of money, and that was just one deal. And I was just getting started. It was my first year. And I just did the numbers. If this came my way, how many more of these can I line up? And then you start to add numbers, and my mind started to run wild. I remember Dan Pena once told me that the moment you realize that every hour you sleep, you're not making money, you'll never sleep again. The moment you realize every hour that you sleep, you're not making this kind of money, you'll never sleep again. And I didn't believe him because I loved sleeping before the QLA seminar, and that's something I just couldn't shake off. That night I came down, I talked to my family, and I shared what just landed on my table. And I had never seen $10 million. I'd never seen it. And most people are not going to see it, because $10 million very rarely are going to be in the form of cash. It's always going to be a financial statement. So I'd never see it. And my whole perception about what is big, what is small, what is too much money, what is not enough money, everything changed. And I was like, what world is this? And it's the world of business. But what world is this? What world do these people who own these companies live in? What reality do they live in? They see these numbers coming in. They have operations. I hadn't even seen these kind of operations. I wasn't exposed to this kind of world. And I started to tell myself, so Dan Pena wasn't lying? His mentees are really going out there and doing this? And I was like, and I'm one of them? And I didn't believe what I was seeing. And then things progressed, and I contacted my CFO, who was a senior partner of PwC, and we had a conversation. I shared the numbers, etc., etc. And that night when I went to sleep, I couldn't sleep. It was almost like a sun was shining inside my eyes. It was that bright. My whole mind had almost lit up. If you've seen some rich people, they look like they're lit. That's what's happening. They're lit. They're firecrackers inside of me. There are emotions in my body that I don't understand. There's so much excitement and so many mixed emotions. And I'm seeing, because when you're financially constrained, you have a limitation on your thinking, because there are so many things you can't do, because almost everything costs money. So if there's a place you want to travel, there's a place you want to take your girlfriend, there's a gift you want to buy, there is a location you want to visit, there's a hotel that you want to stay at, there's a car that you want to buy, there is a house that you want to buy, there are certain clothes that you buy. All of that is kind of feels inaccessible and constricting. But when you see this number, even as a possibility, even you don't even have to close it, but even as a possibility of closing it, it just shows you that this exists. People are doing it. And I could do it. And if I do, and this just landed on my table, this opportunity. And if I do it, then I can have access to everything I want. And that was a shocking thing. And I literally couldn't sleep that day. And I had this tingling sensation in my belly, tingling sensation in my leg. I was just moving around really rapidly, and because I was not just seeing what was in front of me, I was seeing, if this is the first year, what could I keep opening? And this just happened over LinkedIn. So then there was an opportunity where we had to renegotiate the deal with these people, the owners, and I called my CFO and I said, we need to go to Al Ain. There's a location in UAE called Al Ain. It's a 3-hour drive, 2.5 to 3 hours drive. And the PwC senior partner, former senior partner, said, let's do it. Let's go and meet them. Set up a meeting. And I called them, set up a meeting, and then here I was driving with a 58-year-old man that I barely knew. I just met him, a few times, and we were in the car and we were starting to have a conversation. It was a long drive, and I was like, isn't that amazing that somebody that I did not know, we can collaborate, we can sit in the same car, and it's almost like a road trip that I'm taking with a stranger who is an extraordinary guy, very talented, has these credentials, and I didn't even think that I could get a meeting with this guy or that he would even see me. And now I'm kind of on this road trip, on this adventure of meeting a $10 million business. And the deserts were going by, and finally we reached. And the moment we reached, I saw the operations. Just outside, there were, I think, 8 or 10 ambulance cars. It was a home care company, so they have a lot of ambulance. And a big ambulance, many small ambulance, and the PwC former senior partner says, man, this looks like a real, operations. Because before that, we had met some small companies, like a dental office, maybe $1 million, 8-9 employees, in a bad location, just some office spaces and some rooms. That was it. And we also met a $3 million company, which was a little bit bigger, but this is a whole different league. And I was really nervous because I'm meeting somebody who's a multi-millionaire. He's worth $10 million. I know he's worth $10 million. And I see the guy, he wants to talk to me. He's open to listen. He's open to have a conversation. And I was like, man, I love this business world. I mean, strangers talking and making things happen. This is how America was built. So I really liked that idea with meeting strangers and collaborating and just trusting each other to collaborate. So there's that aspect also. And then that night we left, and obviously the senior partner of PwC and our relationship got stronger because so far everything was a conversation, and okay, fine, we met a couple of companies, but now this is getting real. The deals are getting bigger, the operations are getting bigger, something real is here. And then, barriers between us dissolved. I mean, I could call him in the night, 1 a.m., it doesn't matter. He told me about his wife on the way, his daughters and all of that. He even introduced me, I introduced him to my girlfriend. I mean, the whole dynamic shifted. So that's my experience of, for the first time, looking at a financial statement, and it creates a sense of security. It creates a sense of emotional stability in you, because you can see where your income would fit in that cash flow statement and how you're going to pay your expense and what are the things that you can afford. And if you multiply the deals, how much money you can have for yourself, and when you exit, how much you can have. And you start to feel kind of settled within yourself that this is available, I'm doing it, it's in front of me, I'm getting used to these numbers, and my reality is shifting, and I'm doing things that most people can only dream about. I mean, most celebrities get paid $10 million. So I'm seeing these transaction size. I mean, typically people are used to $10,000, $5,000, $25,000 deal that they do, but this was a totally different league. So I just wanted to share that experience with you. I hope that I was able to make you see yourself do these things. I'll talk to you soon.